Let's talk about direct mail for your recruiting business. You're probably thinking to yourself, is this guy crazy? Direct mail? That's so like 1970s, 1980s. But I'm here to tell you that this strategy works and a lot of recruiters don't do it, which is what's going to make you different and it's going to get you new business. So trust me and stick with me here through this entire video while I'll show you exactly what you need to do. And this is a strategy that you can implement immediately. So many years ago, when I started a recruiting business, again, I hired a recruiting coach, and his name is Tom Erb. Fantastic recruiting coach. Highly recommend him. He taught me so much many years ago. One strategy that Tom taught me, which I did a review on my LinkedIn page, you can go there and watch that review, was a way to market to recruiting clients within your niche. And it's a 10-week sales contact schedule is what we call it. So the first action is you send out a flyer. Okay, let me show you examples of what a flyer could look like. So this is an example right here. And you guys can get flyers made at like, the FedEx store down the street, or maybe you know someone that can do it for you. You guys need to figure that piece out. But in any event, we created some flyers that spoke to our target audience. Here's one example of a flyer that Tom provided for us. And then here's another example of one that I did for my recruiting company years ago called Broadstaff that I launched. And we put some customer testimonials in here, which were very effective. And on the other side of this flyer, really spoke to our core competency skill sets that we focused on. Okay, so that's a quick preview of your flyer could look like when I mentioned the word flyer. All right, so the second step would be to follow up with the client to make sure that they received your mail. Okay, and you do this through an email, you do this through a voicemail, and then another follow-up email. And then you follow this sequence here over 10 weeks. Again, follow-up voicemail in a few days, follow-up email with a client quote, like a testimonial, something that you guys did that was successful for one of your other clients. Social proof goes a long way. Again, follow-up voicemail. By the way, I'm in your area. Now I get it, guys. A lot of you maybe don't have clients in your local market. That's okay. You can tweak this. Hey, let's jump on a Zoom call, whatever it may be. For those of you that do market in your local city, this would be a great follow-up email. And voicemail, you can then share a valuable piece of content that's specific to your niche, another voicemail, and then a backing off email. Let me show you kind of what this looks like. So there goes the piece of mail, the flyer that goes out. All right. And then week two, again, in week two, we're going to contact the prospect. Let me make this larger for you guys. A total of 3 times. First, we need to send them a follow-up email that references the week 1 letter and lets the prospect know we will be calling. The following day, we'll leave a voicemail referencing the letter and email. Later that day or next morning, we will email the prospect referencing our voicemail and asking to schedule a brief call, right? So here's an example of how that email would look. Follow up from the letter. Hey, Bob, I'm following up on a letter I sent you last week that talked about why your company is different than other staffing firms you hear from. I understand and respect how busy your schedule must be and that you may not have time to review the letter. So I'll quickly recap, and you give some differentiators right here. You give a call to action, etc. So we have the entire script here for that 10-week process. We did about 100 pieces of mail a few years ago and landed 2 clients that brought us in each over $100,000 in revenue with this direct mail marketing strategy. Okay, so let me take it a step further. You're probably thinking to yourself, all right, but COVID changed the entire landscape of recruiting. Nobody works at an office anymore. They're not going to get my mail. I get it. I know you're thinking that right now. But piggybacking off what Tom mentioned in his most recent interview with Staffing Monthly and Dan Morey was that any organized company that's got 50 or more employees has figured out a way to get their employees their mail. Let's be honest, guys. And if they haven't, they've got bigger issues over there. Those are probably companies you don't want to work with. So especially if you're targeting Fortune 500, Fortune 100 companies with 1,000 or more employees, if you send mail to their company headquarters, it's going to get to their employees. So that's one thing. All right. And still a lot of people went back to the workplace and now they're working in an office. I know I work in an office. So, it's been a few years now since COVID, since the lockdown, and I would not get discouraged by that or have paralysis by analysis. Take the action, do some testing right now, get a flyer made and send out, 100 flyers and see what you get. I would expect for you to get some really good results with this strategy. All right, guys, hope that helps.